Hello. Today I want to do something a little bit different and I want to react to some study memes because how fun is that? So that's what we're doing, reacting to some study memes. Use your own words, just don't copy from the textbook. Book, he died in 1987. Me, 1987 was when he died. This is actually so true. There are so many times where you're like, okay, I need to get this information down. I don't want to copy it verbatim because I might forget that I wrote it down there. So you're just kind of rephrasing, and rephrasing is actually okay. You still want to give credit to the source, but generally rephrasing is okay. Try and introduce some different words and don't make it sound exactly the same. Like that's really close. He died in 1987. 1987 was when he died. But rephrasing and paraphrasing has to be done sometimes. Just give credit. Me going to take 6 days break after 20 minutes of studying. Okay, so this is not exactly ideal. You do generally want to spend at least 2 hours studying per 1 hour of class time. Ideally, you want 2 to 3 hours unless you need more. So if you're in a 3-credit course, that means you're in lecture for 3 hours a week. That means you want to spend about 6 to 9 hours studying outside of class per week. So 20 minutes and then a 6-day rest. Not quite gonna work out, but I do get the temptation. But yeah, I would love to. I don't know what kind of grades you're gonna get with that, but you know, that is the dream. Maybe if they combine it with sleeping on their textbook so they can get the information by osmosis, and it might work out for them. When I have to study, anything else but studying. Yeah, if you don't have a solid study guide and a plan and activities planned out for your study routine, then that is really easy to happen. Just shuffling around, looking through papers, not studying. Again, I get it because there's so much organizing and everything that has to be done, but with a solid study plan. So get a Pomodoro planner, plan your activities for each of those study blocks, plan what you're going to study, meaning the concept, how you're going to study it, meaning the activity. Write that all down for the week, the month, and then sit down and go through those Pomodoro planners. I have a template in the description if you need help planning your study sessions. It has a whole bunch of study activities that you can track, and then a Pomodoro planner so you can plan each of your study sessions. And that will really help with this anything else but studying portion. Hopefully we can switch it around so that the orange is anything but studying and then the blue is your actual study time. I wonder if this is also the person that took 6 days off. Me, okay, I'll start studying at 7. Me at 7:01. You missed your chance. Starts at 8. Okay, totally get this one because yeah, when you don't want to do it, when you're not motivated to sit down and study, then it's really hard to like really get there and get settled. So one thing that helps me is that I have like a little bit of a pre-study routine. So before I sit down and study, I have a couple of things that I lead up to that will help me get in the mood to sit down and study. And so one of those things is clearing off my desk. So I'll go through, I'll clear off my desk, I'll wipe it down, I will organize all of my papers in, I have like an inbox on my desk. So I'll put all of my loose papers, anything that I find while I'm cleaning, like while I'm organizing, I'll put them in my inbox. And then once I've organized and cleaned up my workspace, I'll pull those papers out and I'll start to sort them and organize them. Once I've sorted them into the pile, so if it's by classes, I'll sort them into a bunch of different classes. If it is work stuff, I will start sorting that and filing that away. And so now I've already started to work. So sitting down and studying is so much easier. So then if I am planning on studying a math class, for example, the notes that I have, I'll grab my binder, I'll start putting them and organizing them in the binder, and then that will just kind of organically lead to me doing my study activity, again, my pre-planned study activity. So the kind of lead up to an organization time that I do, I start maybe 5 to 10 minutes before I actually plan on sitting down and studying. But also at 7:01, I would just get up and go anyways and just start my pre-routine at 7:01 and work from there. So I would not let the fact that I was 1 minute late destroy my need to study that day. Me after studying for 10 minutes. Me comparing the stats of 2 items in games for hours. So, no word of a lie, I am actually a big gamer. I love video games. I play a game called Final Fantasy XIV. You might have heard of it. You automatically know that there is a high level of statistics and stats that go into playing this game, but I love it. And yeah, I will sit there and I will research for hours and start doing the math on how many crafts of this level I need to get to the next level, and what is my chance of successfully like high quality this, or I play Black Mage. So how much critical hit do I have to get to like this percentage so that I can optimally increase my crit hit. So yeah, I will spend hours going down the rabbit hole of best in slot in a video game, but I have to find a way to do it after I study. So in saying that, I'm going to make the argument that video games are amazing for critical thinking and surgical dexterity. And also they help with focus. They help me with concentration. I love studying to video game soundtracks. It is some of the best music because it's music for concentration. I'm going to stand by this one. I'm definitely going to say video games are self-care. Knowledge I gathered from countless hours of studying 5 minutes before test. If you, I'll see you tomorrow. I have been there before. I have terrible test anxiety. I can study for hours and days and weeks and months, and I will still be incredibly nervous coming up to a test. I will still be sweating profusely standing outside the exam room waiting for my test to start. And then you sit down, you walk in and you sit down, and those minutes are like hours. I'll be on this slow parade and every anxious thought pops into my mind. I will be that one person left in musical chairs and everybody will swoop in and I won't have a seat. I will have the crazy idea that I will sit somewhere and then the person next to me will turn around and say, I don't want you here. Go sit somewhere else. Every bad possible outcome does pop into my head because that is my personality. I am a very anxious person. So knowing that, I prepare for my tests very well and I start very far in advance. Day 1 of class, I am already studying for the final exam. In saying that, when I am prepared enough for an exam, when I have studied, when I know that I know the material and I am confident, once I sit down and I break open that test book, I actually start getting less anxious. And I also will have snacks or gum that I can chew on and kind of release some of that anxiety. But one of the things that I found that really helps is as soon as I sit down, I will write my name on the exam. You know, we always do that first. That's rule number 1 for test taking. Write your name and your student number. And then I will go through question by question and I will read every question with no intention of answering it and just read it so I know what's on the exam. If I can come up with the answer with no forethought, with no it's just there, I will answer it. But if it doesn't immediately come to mind, the correct answer immediately come to mind with no effort, then I leave it and I move on. And because that first pass through is just so I know what's on the exam, because I find a lot of the exam anxiety encountered is actually because you don't know what's on the exam or how it's phrased or anything like that. And so going through the exam that first time really, really helps. With the anxiety outside of the classroom or right before the exam, that's just breathing exercises and avoiding other anxious students, because then you can definitely just snowball together. When you feel guilty about not studying, but you're still not studying. Yes, all of that. There have been times where I have felt so guilty about not studying that I should be studying, or maybe something came up and I decided to take the day off, or maybe I was tired or exhausted. We all have those days. I'm never going to pretend that I don't have those days. And you're not studying, so you decide to go out and do something else instead. And sometimes I actually feel guilty that I'm having fun instead of studying. And that is something that's hard. So this is kind of two-pronged. If you are taking the day off of studying because you need a break, then don't feel guilty about that. There's lots of ways to catch up and make up for that study session. But if you are not studying because you you are just procrastinating, then you're gonna have to find something to motivate you, because that's just such a dangerous spiral to get into. I actually have an article on my website about how to study when you don't feel like studying. I'm gonna link that in the description just in case that's you. But maybe you might want to read it instead of studying, but make sure you use it as, if you check it out, make sure you use it as inspiration to start studying and not a distraction instead of studying. Studying a topic on your own out of pure curiosity, having to study that same topic for school. Okay, this one I do feel, because there are tons of things that I love. One of my guilty pleasures is I love studying like medieval history or like prehistoric times throughout the world and stuff like that. So I love studying these ancient civilizations. I'm gonna be honest with you here, more for the tea than for educational value, because I just feel like medieval tea was piping hot. Anyways, I digress. I don't think I can manage to study it in school, because I would go down totally the wrong rabbit hole. I would be all like, what were they wearing and how did they get into and out of those corsets if they have to go to the bathroom? And just so many things. Like, I would be so down the wrong rabbit hole, and I would be there on the exam writing a whole essay about the hygiene habits at Versailles. And they would just be like, okay, but what year was it built? And I'd be like, I don't know, but did you know there are no bathrooms? So yeah, that would be me. Me making memes instead of studying. Well, I guess that's me reviewing memes instead of studying, or you watching review memes instead of studying. This is getting very, very meta. So that's probably where we should leave it. I've had so much fun today going through these. I think I might do it again. Maybe we can do this again. Maybe this would be fun. Just going through and reviewing memes, and I don't know, maybe we'll find something else to review. I feel like we learned some stuff. We talked about some stuff. We had some fun. We had some laughs. We relaxed, had some self-care, chuckles, spent some quality time. So if you enjoyed this video, like this video and subscribe to my channel. I put out new video every week, and they are always about study tips, organizational hacks, and homework help to help you through the study struggle. You can also visit my website. I have a ton of free articles and useful resources to help you through your academic career. Now, until next time, I hope you have an amazing adventure.